Who stands with Israel in 2025? Which global powers back Israel in its ongoing conflict with Palestine? And what drives their support? Politics, defense agreements, or deeper ties? In this video, we uncover the top 10 nations openly and discreetly supporting Israel through weapons, intelligence, financial aid, and diplomatic cover. Some countries may surprise you, and the numbers behind their alliances will shock you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you support Israel or Palestine? Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch until the end, as the top supporter might reshape your view of global politics. Let's dive in. Number 10. Hungary. Under Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, Hungary remains a steadfast ally of Israel within the European Union. In 2025, Hungary consistently blocked EU statements critical of Israel's actions in Gaza, emphasizing Israel's right to counter terrorism. Orbán has called Israel a key partner for stability and security, a stance he reiterated in January 2025. Since 2022, Hungary has strengthened economic and technological ties with Israel, focusing on cybersecurity, water technology, and energy. In 2023, Hungary imported €3 million in Israeli defense equipment and launched an AI-driven surveillance program with Israel in April 2025. Hungary was one of only 4 EU nations to oppose a 2024 UN Human Rights Council resolution condemning Israel. Orbán's government also maintained its diplomatic office in Jerusalem, defying EU pressure. Public opinion in Hungary leans pro-Israel, and Orbán leverages this alliance to challenge EU foreign policy trends. Hungary's support is less about military might and more about providing Israel with diplomatic protection in Europe. Number 9. Czech Republic. The Czech Republic is one of Israel's most vocal supporters in Europe. In 2023, President Petr Pavel visited Israel shortly after Hamas attacks, declaring unwavering support. Czech lawmakers quickly labeled Hamas a terrorist organization and endorsed Israel's response as self-defense. In 2024, the Czech Republic approved €8 million in military export licenses for small arms, optics, and radar components. By February 2025, Czech defense firms secured contracts to upgrade Israeli armored vehicles and drone systems. Public support for Israel is strong, with 62% of Czechs favoring Israel in a 2024 Eurobarometer survey. Czech leaders rejected EU sanctions on Israel and blocked efforts to halt trade talks. At the UN, the Czech ambassador opposed multiple ceasefire resolutions in 2024 and 2025, citing Israel's right to self-defense. Despite its small size, the Czech Republic's support is rooted in historical solidarity, drawing parallels between its own past under authoritarian regimes and Israel's security challenges. Number 8. India. India's relationship with Israel has grown into a strategic partnership under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Since 2014, ties have deepened in military, intelligence, and technology sectors. In 2023, India became Israel's largest arms buyer, purchasing $2.9 billion in drones, radar, and missile defense systems. During the 2023 Gaza conflict, India expressed concern for civilian losses but avoided condemning Israel. In 2025, India maintains this balanced approach, publicly advocating for peace while privately expanding military ties. Joint naval exercises in March 2025 focused on anti-submarine warfare and cyber defense. India abstained from key UN votes in 2024 and 2025, signaling cautious support. Intelligence cooperation between Israel's Mossad and India's RAW has intensified, focusing on regional threats. Economically, the two nations are negotiating a free trade agreement projected to reach $12 billion in annual trade by 2026. Despite domestic criticism, Modi's government views Israel as a critical defense and tech ally. Number 7. Australia. Geographically distant but politically aligned, Australia remains a key supporter of Israel in the Asia-Pacific. In 2025, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's government blocked UN resolutions calling for an immediate Gaza ceasefire, arguing Israel's right to self-defense while acknowledging humanitarian concerns. In 2023, Australia exported $6.5 million in dual-use technology and surveillance systems to Israel. Israeli defense firms like Elbit Systems have trained Australian forces since 2018, with contracts extending through 2025. Australia's support is bolstered by a strong pro-Israel lobby, influencing both major political parties. Despite protests in cities like Sydney and Melbourne, the government has upheld military and intelligence ties. In January 2025, Australia's Defence Ministry confirmed ongoing cybersecurity collaboration with Israel and committed to expanding joint military exercises in the Indo-Pacific. While Canberra provides humanitarian aid to Gaza and expresses concern over civilian casualties, it refrains from publicly criticizing Israel. Diplomatic cables reveal Australia coordinates intelligence with both Tel Aviv and Washington, reflecting a nuanced stance that balances humanitarian rhetoric with strategic alignment. Number 6. Italy. Italy's support for Israel often flies under the radar but is robust in 2025. In November 2023, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni affirmed Italy's solidarity with Israel against terrorism. During the 2023 Gaza conflict, Italy deployed 2 naval vessels to the eastern Mediterranean to support NATO allies and ensure Israeli maritime security. In 2023, Italy exported €9.8 million in arms to Israel, including radar systems, ammunition, and training equipment. Italy's defense giant, Leonardo S.p.A., collaborates with Israel on avionics and drone technology. In early 2025, Italy hosted a trilateral summit with Israel and Greece, focusing on cybersecurity and energy partnerships. While expressing concern for civilian deaths in Gaza, Italy has not halted arms sales or supported sanctions. At the UN, Italy consistently abstained or voted against resolutions condemning Israel in 2024 and 2025. Bilateral trade reached €4.6 billion in 2024. Driven by defense and high-tech cooperation, Italy carefully balances diplomacy but remains a reliable military and political ally to Israel. Number 5. Canada's support for Israel is steady, if understated. In 2024, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government approved $21 million in military export licenses for Israel, covering rockets, bombs, and night vision systems. Canadian firms like CAE Inc. and L3 Harris maintain contracts with Israeli security forces. In October 2023, Trudeau condemned Hamas and affirmed Israel's right to self-defense. However, by March 2024, human rights groups in Canada launched a lawsuit to stop arms exports, citing international humanitarian law concerns. Despite this pressure, Trudeau emphasized shared democratic values and security interests, maintaining strong economic and military ties in 2025. Canada also opposed UN resolutions targeting Israel, reflecting a quiet but firm commitment to the partnership. Number 4. Germany's strong support for Israel in 2025 stems from historical responsibility and strategic alignment. Post-Holocaust, Germany committed to safeguarding Israel's existence, a pledge that translates into significant military and diplomatic backing. From 2019 to 2023, Germany supplied 30% of Israel's major arms imports, including €326 million in submarines, anti-tank missiles, and radar systems in 2023 alone. Chancellor Olaf Scholz called Israel's security a reason of state in October 2023, sending military gear and drones during the Gaza escalation. However, public pressure and legal challenges over Gaza war crime concerns led to a sharp drop in arms approvals, down to €14.5 million from January to August 2024. Germany continues to veto anti-Israel EU resolutions and provides humanitarian aid to both sides, navigating a delicate balance while upholding its commitment to Israel's defense. Number 3. France's relationship with Israel is complex but supportive. In October 2023, President Emmanuel Macron visited Jerusalem, condemning Hamas and affirming France's solidarity. France provided intelligence to identify Hamas tunnels and sold $21 million in optics, electronics, and surveillance equipment to Israel in 2023. While French leaders criticized Gaza's humanitarian toll, they avoided outright condemnation of Israel. In February 2025, Macron backed a UN resolution for a humanitarian truce but maintained military and intelligence cooperation. By May 2025, France, alongside the UK and Canada, raised concerns about Gaza's humanitarian crisis, but preserved trade and security ties. France balances its human rights advocacy with its role as a global power, remaining a key ally to Israel. Number 2. United Kingdom. The UK's deep-rooted support for Israel, dating back to the 1917 Balfour Declaration, remains strong in 2025. In 2022, the UK issued $52.5 million in arms export licenses to Israel, with open licenses adding flexibility. After the October 2023 Hamas attacks, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak visited Tel Aviv, pledging full support. In January 2024, the UK confirmed sharing military intelligence to identify militant targets. The Royal Navy's presence in the Eastern Mediterranean in late 2023 underscored strategic alignment. Despite pressure from human rights groups and rising Gaza casualty reports, the UK paused trade negotiations with Israel in April 2025 and sanctioned West Bank settlers in May for extremist violence. Still, the UK's veto of EU sanctions and continued military ties show its alignment with Israel. Number 1. United States. The United States remains Israel's most unwavering ally in 2025. In October 2023, Congress approved a $14.5 billion emergency aid package for Israel's military operations. From 2019 to 2023, 69% of Israel's major weapons, including F-35 jets, precision bombs, and Iron Dome interceptors, came from the U.S. In 2024, the Biden administration vetoed 3 UN Security Council resolutions calling for Gaza ceasefires, reaffirming its ironclad commitment in February 2025. The U.S. provides $3.8 billion in annual military aid under a 2016 agreement with companies like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon supplying Israel's defense systems. Despite domestic protests, both parties uphold Israel's right to self-defense, making the U.S. Israel's top strategic partner through diplomacy and funding. These 10 nations, through military, diplomatic, and economic support, shape the complex landscape of the Israel-Palestine conflict. As global dynamics evolve, so will these alliances. Stay engaged, think critically, and keep exploring the nuances of international relations.